Metal on metal clanged along the road and through the forest. Karnak turned as Cole's hammer slammed into a shorter wretchling, brandishing a jagged black dagger. The creature flipped backward, landing hard on the ground before the dwarf brought his hammer down on its head. The wretchling exploded into a cloud of putrid black smoke. "I guess they're back," Cole huffed. Karnak growled his reply and ran off to take on another of the dark monsters. He found one of their few griffin guardians parrying a particularly quick wretchling that wielded 2 swords. The guardian held his own, parrying, striking, and parrying again. Karnak heaved his axe, hurtling it through the air. It tore through the wretchling like a water skin, as smoke spewed from the crumpling creature. Its orange flame eyes extinguished, and the monster lay dead. The guardian nodded his thanks and turned to find another opponent, but a black arrow struck him, and he fell to his knee. Karnak ran toward the guardian's side, but another arrow landed its mark, putting the guardian down before the orc reached him. Karnak whirled on his feet, finding a smug wretchling staring wickedly at him. Karnak moved slowly toward his axe, stuck in the pile of what used to be a wretchling. His eyes never left the creature that stared unrelentingly at him. Why does he not take the shot? Karnak wondered. The wretchling's gaze was unnerving. When the creature took a step to the side, Karnak prepared to dive. He wasn't sure he could dodge an arrow if the wretchling loosed it from his bow, but the orc would not die easily. Instead of loosing an arrow, the creature merely stepped behind a tree. Karnak dove anyway, rolling over his axe and lifting it before him. When he caught sight of the wretchling again, the creature was farther away, still leering at the orc and stepping slowly. Karnak nudged the guardian that lay unmoving next to him. The man was gone. A snarl worked its way from the orc's throat to his lips, his tusks grinding to the side. Cole blasted another wretchling, sending spurts of smoke spiraling away. "Karnak!" the dwarf yelled. "What are you doing?" Karnak turned to the dwarf after the monster disappeared behind another tree. "That wretchling, did you see it? It's strange." When they'd fought the dark creatures in Ventol, the wretchlings, the mindless and murderous drove of what used to be the sorcerer's Geldrin army, came at the heroes in Ventol like a legion from the depths of Mulcra. They seemed unthinking and savage. This one is different. Karnak jumped to his feet and barreled through the trees. "Karnak, wait!" Cole hollered as he charged after the orc. Karnak ran as fast as his legs could propel his big body. A glimpse of the wretchling off to the side slowed him before the creature disappeared behind another tree. "Where are you?" Karnak thought. He strained his eyes, scanning the trees. "There!" He dashed away, just as Cole caught up to him. "Ballensbeard," the dwarf grumbled. "Where are you going?" The soggy ground squished under the orc's heavy footfalls as he stormed along. He slid to a stop as he rounded a copse of trees that opened into a small clearing. Karnak immediately recognized his error as the creature slithered up the side of a young dragon and perched on top. Karnak ducked behind a tree as the dragon sprayed flames at the orc. The wet trees erupted into an inferno as though they were dry kindling. "What in Finlastia?" Cole shouted as he dove beside the orc. Karnak spun around the burning tree and glared at the creature that had drawn him to that spot. "It's a Vorlek," Karnak said. "One of Jernok Tor's generals." Only one spy had been brave enough to close in on Ventol and look inside its broken walls. An elf mage by the name of Lanrin. He, of course, had superior eyesight and hearing, and, with his magic tricks, had gathered more information about the new army than any others. He'd only seen the wretchlings once in all his trips, enough to spur them to set up the barricade on the road. "And this Varlek has a dragon!" Cole pointed out the obvious surprise. The Varlek smirked smugly at the orc as the dragon wafted its wide wings and lifted them into the air. The creature released a wild howl. The noises of the battle behind them ceased almost instantly. The Varlek nodded to the orc and the dwarf, who stood dumbfounded at the edge of the clearing, before he turned the dragon to fly back toward Ventol. They watched the young dragon fly away until it passed the tree line beyond their vision. Karnak released a low growl.